In today's edition of The Marketplace, ratings agency Fitch will not review Ghana's credit ratings of B with a stable outlook status anytime soon. We'll tell you the concrete reasons why. Also, as today marks World Food Day, we assess the state of Ghana's food security amid the coronavirus pandemic. Plus, the 11th edition of the JoyNews EcoBank Habitat Fair begins with a mini clinic tomorrow at the West Hills Mall. We have all the details on what you should be expecting. Hello once again, I'm Charles Aite. We have more on these stories coming up after this break. Hello and welcome. Ratings agency Fitch will not review Ghana's credit rating status anytime soon, at least until after the December elections or early next year. Now, this comes after the international ratings agency downgraded Zambia's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating to C from CC. Now, Fitch said the recent downgrade of Zambia's rating could herald a series of sovereign defaults in sub-Saharan Africa, where several rated sovereigns face acute liquidity pressures and very high debt levels. Now, the ratings agency had earlier warned Ghana that its slow fiscal consolidation process could be a subject to downgrade its credit ratings. Now, Fitch is also keeping Ghana's rating at B, with a stable outlook for now. Now, the decision is due to an expected improvement in the country's economy post-easing of COVID-19 restrictions. Meanwhile, the G20 finance ministers and central bank governors are set to consider the feasibility of extending the debt service suspension initiative beyond 2020 at the ongoing IMF World Bank Spring meeting. Fitch believes the extension of 2021 is highly likely. Well, away from that, Director General of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, Wamkele Mene, says the AFTA will be the pivot for reviving the African economy. Now, figures from the World Bank show that 25 to 30 million jobs in Africa were lost to COVID-19. Speaking at an engagement with diplomatic community from Africa, member states in Accra, Wamkele Mene said that engagement are still underway for a viable agreement in 2021, which is the commencement year.
COVID-19 has been a delaying factor in the start of trading because out of 55 countries, 42 were either in a full or partial lockdown. Borders were closed, goods were not transiting, so we had to take account of this reality. Hence, we now have a new date of 1st of January 2021. We had, as a trade response to COVID-19, we provided advice, proposals to heads of states and to ministers of trade that trade corridors should be established during the period of the pandemic. And second, that for the goods that are required for fighting the pandemic, that are essential for fighting the pandemic, that these goods should be allowed to transit through borders at zero rates, without any duties, so that millions and millions of Africans can have access to these products. This is these are the proposals that we made as a secretariat, as part of the arsenal of the African Union of fighting COVID-19.
Now, radio is the principal medium for receiving climate information by most farmers, and social media happens to be the least. This is part of the findings by the Environmental Science Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Now, the findings made known at a Climate Information Services workshop in Kumasi saw 74.6% of farmers relying on radio and 2.1% on social media for climate information. Philip Entrieje is Associate Professor at the Environmental Science Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and he's been explaining to us the reason why.
The results of our study show that over 40% of farmers in the study area in Upper East region are not getting access to climate information. And this has implication for our farming communities. These are rainfall dependent agricultural farmers or agricultural systems. And therefore, if they cannot have access to climate information, that will help them to build their capacity to address the effects of climate change. It's a challenge that we need to address. Of course, Ghana's agricultural system is purely dependent on rainfall. It means that anytime there are disruptions in the rain patterns, it affects our agricultural systems. But we also need to understand that as a country, climate change poses or presents significant challenges for the attainment of food security and attainment of our nationally determined contribution that have been submitted to as part of the Paris Climate Agreement. And we need to do whatever is within our capacity to address some of the challenges that is posed by climate change, especially for our smallholder farmers whose livelihoods are being threatened by climate change and its associated impacts. You know, farmers need to have access to some of these communication gadgets so as to be able to access climate information. Radios, GMED give forecasts on radios. So if farmers cannot have radios to access the information, then they find themselves in difficult position. Television is also another key thing that farmers need to get access to. So it is believed that if farmers have access to these kinds of gadgets or these kinds of assets, then they can access timely climate information. And we need to be aware that even though climate change presents significant challenges, if farmers can access climate information, they will be able to build their capacity to address the many challenges that are posed by climate change on their livelihoods. And we should encourage our farmers to access climate information for whatever farming system that they are doing. The government should have, I think the government is doing well, but we could do much more in terms of having a holistic approach in addressing the issues pertaining to climate change. I think that in the sub-region, Ghana has done so well in terms of coming out with a number of policies. We have a national climate change policy, we have a national climate change adaptation strategy, we have a number of frameworks that guide climate change adaptation planning in the country. But farmers need to be supported in terms of having access to the necessary assets that can help them to address the impacts of climate change.
Now, the Director of Crop Services at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Seth Akoto, is urging maize farmers in the country to cultivate hybrid maize seeds. He said hybrid maize seeds yields are better than the open-pollinated variety. Speaking at Joy Business at an agricultural input fair and stakeholder sensitization in Sunyane, Seth Akoto, who launched a manual for the production of hybrid maize, says the manual will support farmers to increase beyond the 6 tons per hectare currently being produced.
A manual that has been produced by our research institutions, namely Crop Research Institute and then Savannah Agricultural Institute, both under the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. We are promoting the use of improved seeds. But when it comes to maize, all these years we have relied on the use of open-pollinated varieties. This event, we are using it to launch this manual to support farmers how to produce hybrid seed maize, so that as a country you stop the importation. From 2017 to date, maize productivity has increased from 1.8 metric tons to 3.5 metric tons if you consider open pollinated varieties. Regarding hybrid maize seeds, yields are up at 6 tons per hectare. So that is why the emphasis is on the adoption of hybrid seeds to be used by farmers.
Well, he also said the ministry would give about 14,000 metric tons of improved rice seeds for farmers to help achieve the government's target of self-sufficiency in rice production by 2023.
2021, we are going to give almost 14,000 metric tons of rice seeds to farmers to plant. If we are going to use population density rate of 50 kilograms per hectare to plant, the quantity of seeds that we want to distribute can plant estimated area of 268,000 hectares. With the current productivity levels of 4 tons per hectare obtained by farmers, it means it translates to over 1 million tons of paddy rice. If in Ghana the recovery rate of processing is about 69%, then that translates to almost close to 800 million tons of milled rice. And that will take us to 75% self-sufficiency. That is 2021. So if all things being equal, you can continue giving a lot of seeds, improved seeds of rice to farmers, and then fertilizers, then extension. We are confident that we can attain self-sufficiency by 2023.
Now, the Alliance for Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA, is advocating for digital transformation to reduce the cost of transactions between farmers and farm input dealers. The Alliance believes that this will also shore up the confidence of financial institutions in farmers. Speaking to Joy Business at a two-day agricultural input fair and stakeholder sensitization in Sunyani, Dr. Victor Entry, head of input distribution and agro-dealer development at AGRA, said an inclusive agricultural transformation will achieve in its own effects the right of inputs which are to be used to increase productivity. There is more on this by Precious Semevo.
The two-day agricultural input fair and stakeholder sensitization in Sunyani under the theme Synergies for Agricultural Transformation through the Value Chain Approach is to facilitate a long-lasting relationship among the agro-input dealers, farmers, financial institutions and other stakeholders. It is aimed at helping to achieve increased output. Juliana Asante Date is the lead consultant for agribusiness in sustainable natural African plant products.
We came together as the 5 members of the consortium and then were to reach 143,000 farmers in the northern Ghana, BA, and also in our farm plains. We've realized the centrality of inputs. So we are talking about hybrid seed, we are talking about improved seed, and we're also talking about good quality agro inputs. We want to connect you directly to the agro inputs distributors and dealers so that those business relationships are facilitated. And even when the project is no more, you will know exactly where to go for the inputs that you need to use so that you can achieve the productivity that will result in increased output.
Addressing the opening session of the fair, the president of African Fertilizer and Agribusiness Partnership, AFAP, Jason Scarpon, expressed hope the support of all stakeholders during the COVID-19 period will be sustained.
Many of the countries where I go, there's a real feeling of being shut down, dislocated, not working, looking to be rescued, saved, supported, and work has deteriorated. It's not what I've seen in Ghana. I've been nothing less than shocked at the efforts the agri-dealers are making to continue with their business, to continue serving smallholder farmers. The efforts of the ministry, the efforts of AGRA, the efforts of all the partners to sustain the good work we're doing during this difficult time.
Dr. Victor Entry, head of input distribution and agro-dealer development at Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA, told Joy Business digitization of farmers and farming input comes with many benefits, including the cost of a transaction.
What we need to do is to bring to the table the farmer, to bring to the table the processor, to bring to the table the financial institution, to bring to the table the input dealer. But we can do all these when we can be assured that I could trace you to where you are. That's where this traceability that the government is doing is very important. So with the digitization, it will go a long way to reduce transaction costs. It will also go a long way to bring the confidence that the bank will have in the farmer and also the processor in the farmer, so that if they are going to put up some level of guarantee, it will be easy. You don't need to take transport to go there and beg and then ask them to supply you. On the platform, the person will know how much you have in your account. If there's an overdraft facility that the bank has given to you, the farmer, who is based in Dunyana, for instance, then the farmer will know, look, when he presses the button, his or her accounts will be debited. And when you supply him, he can also produce using the right inputs to increase productivity. And then this inclusive agricultural transformation that we are talking about for Africa to feed itself and feed the rest of the world will come to fruition.
For Joy Business, Precious Semevo, Sunyani.
You're still watching The Marketplace. Now, today is World Food Day, and this day is observed on October 16 each and every year to tackle global hunger and strive to eradicate hunger across the world. And even in Ghana, there is no exception. This year's edition is themed Grow, Nourish, Sustain Together, Our Actions, Our Future. We shall be having more on this particular event worldwide in our subsequent bulletins as we engage stakeholders on this. But one other interesting thing that you should be looking out for over this weekend is the JoyNews Habitat Fair. The time is now right for customers, consumers to own property of their own as the biggest housing fair. The JoyNews Habitat Fair begins tomorrow at the West Hills Mall in Accra. Now, the two-day clinic, with which Ecobank Ghana is a headline sponsor, is expected to attract several thousands of potential house owners. The 11th edition is expected to connect consumers to mortgage financiers, real estate companies, among other stakeholders, to enable their dreams come true. It is themed affordable housing. Beyond the rhetoric, there will be a housing seminar in this effect with our partner and sponsors during the fair. So you can join us as we discuss everything housing this weekend. But joining me virtually is the head of strategic partnerships at the thought leadership here at Multimedia, Inshira Ado. Welcome to the program, Inshira. So, I mean, the time is set, weekend is upon us. What should people be expecting out of the mini clinics this weekend?
Well, thanks for having me. We've been doing this for the last 10 editions. This is the 11th. And one of the first things to expect tomorrow is that the layout of the exhibition will be done with all COVID-19 protocols factored in. So, social distancing, spacing for the, and then the hand washing stations will all be present. So if you come to the West Hills Mall tomorrow, you can expect to meet professionals who are in the building value chain, who will ensure that you walk away with all the insights required to make the right decisions on what to buy, when to buy, how to go about the buying, and then more importantly, financing that mortgage if that's the option you want to take. So all of these players are coming together to help make sure that all our participants walk away with a lot of lessons and insights that they can use to get on the property ladder.
That's great. That's great to hear, Inshira. But what about those out there who are very strict on the COVID protocol? They would want to join virtually. Any arrangement for them?
I'm very happy you asked that. We have all discovered the importance of using virtual digital technology to interact with people. And we're not leaving that aspect out of the Habitat Fair this year. So we will be having quite a number of in-person and virtual engagements. So you'll be able to follow the Ecobank social media platform. You'll also be able to follow the Multimedia JoyNews social media platforms, where we will be broadcasting everything. And you also will be able to interact with mortgage specialists and financing specialists on how to finance whether your first house or the next housing project that you want to embark on. So we're not leaving anyone out of this. And it doesn't matter where you are. All you need is a decent internet connection, and you can join us at the 11th JoyNews Habitat Fair in collaboration with Ecobank.
We just can't wait. Many thanks, Inshira, for that information there. He's head of thought leadership at Multimedia, giving us up-to-date information on what we should be expecting next, this particular weekend as we gear up for the mini clinics of the Habitat Fair. Well, also I've been joined in the studio by the Brand and Media Relations Officer of DBS, one of our partners, in the person of Antonia Kukwa Bosu. Welcome to the program. The time is now, weekend upon us, mini clinics and whatsoever. But what should we be expecting from DBS in terms of the product lines?
Okay, so we are bringing on board our alu-zinc trusses, our alu-zinc sheets, our aluminium sheets, Eurotiles. We have the shingles. We have PVC ring gutter, PVC fascia.
We can see those on the screens. That's lovely. So why the decision to be a part of the Habitat Fair?
Okay, for over the years, we've been part of this. It has been incredible. It has given us some exposure to meet all people from all walks of life.
Nice. And
we see that it's of high importance for us to join each and every time it is organized.
You just can't believe the architecture that goes into the designing of most of these roofing. Customers, prospective clients could be seeing this one this weekend and subsequent clinics as well. But people watching are very interested in the discounts that they could be enjoying if they visit your stands at the Habitat Fair. Walk us through some of the juicy packages you have for them.
Okay, for the Habitat Fair, we have a percentage discount we are going to give to everyone that comes there.
Wow.
It's very juicy, as you used. We are going to give a discount voucher to anyone who comes to see us or comes to our stand. And then we have some few things running for December. So everybody should be on the lookout, watch out for some good news from DBS.
Great. But you know, the discussion doesn't end at the Habitat Fair. It should continue. So what's going to be the continuity plan after Habitat Fair?
Okay, what we do is that we are going to, we have branches at Takrade, we have branches at Kumasi, we have Accra on the Spintex Road, Tamale, Sunyani. So wherever you find yourself, you can visit any of our branches. Our contact is also 0240-844444, 0240-844444. For Takrade, you can contact us on 050-600-4242, 050-600-4242. And for Kumasi, you can contact us on 050-600-4141, 050-600-4141.
I trust they're taking notes.
Yes, and what I want to say is that the most incredible thing you can do for yourself with your money is to buy from DBS, because we are giving you the best.
I see. And you know, based on this particular submission you've made, I want to find out from you, so what's special about DBS? Because you're going to be having your competitors there as well, and they also have some, you know, juicy stuff to woo the customers. So what's special about DBS that you think will set you apart from the rest?
Through our managerial techniques, we've come on board. We've realized that through research also, we realized that we have people who have 3 problems. That's a skewed percentage of the population has 3 problems. 1, they have their buildings very close to the sea. 2, they can't afford aluminium. And 3, they want their sheets in MSL profile.
Okay.
Some people call it the self-lock profile. That's the name they have, affectionate name they have for it. So what we have done is that we have brought the Marine Color Link Plus on board.
Okay.
Marine Color Link Plus with a 20-year certificate to solve all these problems for all these customers. So it comes with quality, that's aluminium quality. It comes with affordability, the price is low. And then it's giving you the profile that you request for. That's the MSL profile or the self-lock profile.
So they don't rust?
Yes, they don't rust. Of course not.
Talk to us about the 20-year certificate.
Yeah. So what we are doing is that we are the only company giving 20 years warranty for our materials.
20-year warranty?
20-year warranty for our materials.
I see.
And also, we are the only company that gives you a quote for roofing. And then we add all the accessories, the necessary accessories you would need for the roofing at an affordable price. Yes.
Interesting. Anyway, so you're going to hear more of these things when you visit the mini clinics tomorrow, you visit the various stands tomorrow. DBS will be there. You don't want to miss out on all the goodies that, you know, she's been explaining to me, revealing to me ahead of the Habitat Fair. And it's all part of our plan here at Multimedia to bridge the housing deficit. We're talking of about 2 million housing deficit in the country currently. We know that there is a challenge with costs, but that is the main reason why we're putting together this mini clinic to give you the opportunity to get in touch with the stakeholders, the speakers, the experts in the, you know, construction sector, for you to make the best decisions moving forward, whether you're owning a home, you'd want to rent, to own, whichever way you'd want to acquire your house. We're so grateful that you joined us, and we're looking forward to seeing you this weekend as well.
Thank you for
Grateful
having
that
me.
you joined us. You're still watching The Marketplace here with me, Charles Aite. Now, as you already know, today is World Food Day, and this day is observed on October 16 each and every year to tackle global hunger and strive to eradicate hunger across the world. And in Ghana, this is no exception. This year's edition is themed Grow, Nourish, Sustain Together, Our Actions, Our Future. In our subsequent bulletin, we'll look at food security here in Ghana amidst the coronavirus pandemic. Are we food secure? These are the questions we shall be asking at 5 p.m. You may want to stay tuned for that. In the meantime, that's how we end this edition of The Marketplace. For me and the rest of the team, many thanks for watching.